All right, welcome to lesson 3 of the bootcamp presented by earlthegreat.com. I'm, of course, Earl the Great. The first couple of lessons, we learned the importance of spreading our distribution net out as wide and as far as possible. And the most consistent and efficient way to do that is by building an email list of passionate and targeted subscribers. Then in lesson 2, I basically showed you how to put your brand out there to attract the perfect type of prospect to your list. And what I've been doing is using the analogy of a fisherman, and a fisherman knows obviously that in order to catch as many fish as possible, he's got to spread his net out as far and as wide as possible. And in order to attract a particular kind of fish, he's got to put a specific kind of bait inside of his net. So now that we know that our brand is our bait and how important it is for us to establish our brand and our blog in the marketplace, I'm going to show you where and how to get those leads, how to get that particular specific type of prospect that we're looking for that is fitting for us in our business. Okay, and then I'm also of course going to show you exactly what to do with them once you have them on your list. So let's before we move forward, understand the importance of generating leads. Okay, we already of course understand that it's it's important for us to spread our distribution net, and that is the most important part of our job as internet marketers. So knowing that we have to, in order to spread our distribution net, we have to generate leads. You can kind of see how that correlates to leads being the lifeline of our business. And basically, if you're not generating leads on a daily basis, then you're really not officially in business. And I kind of fooled myself when I was first starting out in this business. I spent more time on things that I probably should not have been doing. Say, for instance, making my blog look nice and neat, and I spent less time on generating fresh leads on a daily basis when that should have been my priority from the very beginning, and how I was potentially going to set up my marketing funnels to attract the perfect prospect, the perfect targeted prospect to my email list. And I should have been doing that on a more consistent basis from the very beginning. So make sure that you make that your main focus, because if you don't have fresh leads on a daily basis, if you're not generating them on a daily basis, then you're really just fooling yourself. Because if you're not generating leads, then you'll never make money in this business. Okay. Next, there are of course good lead sources and not so good lead sources. Your idea should be to focus on the quality lead sources, and we're going to go into what some of those are. But just know moving forward that you never just want to pick a lead source or a place to get your traffic without knowing for sure that it is a good quality place where your target is coming together or congregating. Okay. Now, you also want to make sure that you're generating your own leads. There are some services out there where you can buy your own leads or buy your own traffic, and that's and also one of the mistakes that I made at first was I went out there to one of those companies that would just sell me what are called basically lead packs. And what I found out eventually was that's a complete waste of money for several reasons. I didn't have very good results with those leads, but looking back, I now understand why. It's basically because I had no idea where those leads come from, how old they were, how correct the information is on what the prospect is looking for, and above all, how often they've been stomped on by other marketers, how many times they've been emailed and called. As opposed to generating your own leads, you know exactly where they came from. You know exactly the steps that they've been through since they've been in your funnel, and you know exactly the kind of problems that they're looking to solve. So it's very important that we generate our own leads. Now, let me make sure. Okay. Now, here are some good traffic sources, both paid and free. Now, before I explain what these traffic sources are, and of course I'm sure that you're very familiar with these traffic sources, but I want to make sure you understand that these are both free and paid methods. Now, if you don't have much of a marketing budget, it's important to understand that you still can generate fresh leads on a daily basis with free methods. It's just that it's going to take you a lot longer I shouldn't say a lot longer, but just a little longer to scale up your business and to start seeing results faster. But don't let that be a reason why you don't start moving forward, because I know a lot of people that are completely sustaining their business structure based on free leads only inside of these traffic sources. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about blogging. Of course, we talked about that in the last lesson and how important it is towards the big picture, and how important your brand is in the big scheme of things, and how your blog really helps solidify your brand in the marketplace, and how we're going to be putting content on our blog, and how that's automatically going to help drive people to us in knowing who we are. Okay, so it's very important that we have our blog set up, because everything is going to be centered around our blog. Okay, next traffic source is going to be YouTube. YouTube continues to be, I mean, it's what else can I say about YouTube? Obviously, you've probably watch several YouTube videos, whether they're embedded on another website, for instance, like Facebook, or you visit YouTube on a regular basis yourself. YouTube continues to be a huge uh, staple in the internet marketing marketplace, I guess we can call it. Because, and I think the one of the main reasons for that is because people really love to be able to look at the type of person that someone is, and the type, their ability to read their body language and to hear their voice and to look at their eyes. It helps them identify with that person almost immediately. And for us as marketers, it helps us build that know, like, and trust that we spoke about in the last lesson a lot quicker. So, if you're not comfortable shooting YouTube videos, then that's fine. But I highly encourage you start to focus on maybe getting more comfortable with it, and you have to understand that as you do it more, you'll get more comfortable with it. And if you're stuttering, it's okay, because as you do it more, you'll get better at it, and people can identify with you, with your growth. And so let's understand that, if you're not shooting YouTube videos, you're missing out on a large part of you're missing out on a large piece of the pie. Okay, next are search engines. And obviously there are several different types of search engines out there, but the big three, obviously, Google, Yahoo, and Bing. And when I actually found this, I was actually talking to one of my partners the other day, and he was telling me that uh, he actually is having some pretty good results from Google paid traffic. And when he told me that, it almost still kind of it blew my mind, because I figured that the Google PPC method was kind of being phased out. But then after I thought about it, and how I still consistently use Google, and how I consistently still look at the paid ads towards the top after I do a search, it made complete sense how this paid traffic source is still holds a relevant place in what we want to do in internet marketing. And obviously, there are the regular search results, the organic search results that come naturally, which is also free, that we're able to take advantage of as well. But that's in a complete other training. Okay. Next, of course, we have Facebook. Facebook, has changed some of their policies in terms of their pay-per-click advertising model in the last year or so, but it still remains, of course, as being one of the staples of both paid and free traffic. And I still take advantage of Facebook and its ability to drive traffic back to my content and back to my blog. So you'll definitely want to take advantage of Facebook if you are not, both free and paid if possible. Okay. Also, Twitter's not going anywhere, people. People still love to be able to put out their short 48 word, I believe, tweets, in a short, concise manner that gets to the point. And Twitter still remains as a very, very relevant social media site in terms of driving traffic back to our site. Okay. So you might be wondering, is there a more effective traffic source than another? And my answer to that is no. I would say pick one and get really, really good at it. And what do I mean by really, really good at it? Basically, put all your effort into it until you can get 5 to 10 leads on a daily basis. That, of course, just kind of depends on what some of your marketing goals. But I would say 5 to 10 leads is a pretty good rule of thumb. If you're gaining 5 to 10 fresh, quality, and targeted leads on a daily basis, then go ahead and start scaling up and move on to the next traffic source. But for now, and I see a lot of people make this mistake, you know, right from the beginning. They think that there is more quality in quantity and choosing 5 different lead sources all at once. But what this does is it takes away from you getting good at one lead source. So it's very important that you stick to one lead source until you've gotten good at it, and then you move on to the next one. And basically what that does is you gain momentum from one lead source, and then you move on to the next lead source and gain momentum for that, and then now you have both lead sources working together. So say for instance you get good at Facebook marketing, and now you're getting 5 to 10 leads from that, and all of a sudden you've got the momentum going and you have a process going with that. Now you can move on to say Twitter and get really good at Twitter and gain some momentum from that and start getting 5 to 10 leads from that. And now all of a sudden your Facebook marketing and your Twitter marketing is working together, and now they're creating a big ball of momentum together. Okay, and that's really, really important that you focus on one lead source, get good at it before moving on to the next. Okay, and also, when once you get the lead, then technically the real work begins. And again, this is where I see a lot of people struggle. You you have to follow up. Okay, once you've got the lead, a lot of people don't realize from there that the 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 true money is made in the follow up. A good majority of the people that get on your list aren't going to buy right away. And in some cases you will get sales right away, but I would say 70 to 90% of your sales are going to come on the back end after you've followed up with them by email with your content, and you've built no like and trust through your content. Okay, and with that, as I just said, that actually brings me to our next my next point here, is that your blog content helps you build that relationship in your follow-up emails and basically turns them into customers. You can tell your personal development stories, and this really helps build know, like, and trust. And you've heard me mention the term conversational hypnosis before. That really goes a long ways in helping build know, like, and trust. As you're telling them stories, as you're telling them your stories, you're really able to help them resonate with the kind of person you are, and which in turn will help them feel more comfortable in buying from you or doing business with you. And of course, your content helps you pre-sell your product through your follow-up emails. So obviously, if you're solving a problem and you can help them, if you're solving a problem through your content that you're sending them through your follow-up emails, and then you're helping them see how they can further solve their problem by buying from you, then that's actually how your content pre-sells the product that you're going to be selling. Okay, now here are a few helpful pointers that and some things to avoid that if I had known when I first started, I would have saved myself a lot of time and a lot of money. First thing is, you don't want to expose your product right away. Exposing your product right away is kind of like in the game of poker, showing your hand. You never want people to know the type of product that you're selling right away, for a number of reasons. It's kind of like a car salesman. You go to buy a car, and if he's kind of just, say for instance, he's got to get a particular car off the inventory, and he's just shoving that car at you before he understands what your needs and wants are and what you're looking for in a car. If he shoves that in your face, a particular car in your face, you're going to be turned off. You're probably going to leave. Now, on the other hand, if the car salesman finds out what your needs and wants are. He's asking questions are, finding out what some of your problems are, and then offers you the perfect car to match those needs and wants based on that. You're probably going to, you know, buy the car, and not only that, you're going to come back and you'll probably refer other people to them, and you'll more than likely buy other cars in the future from that car salesman. So let's take that same example and use that in our business, that we don't want to just shove products in people's face, because we don't want to turn them off. We want to find out what their problems are, what their needs and their wants are, solve their problems, and then offer them transition into offering them a solution to their problem through our products. Okay. Um, Now we want basically this whole process that we want to take our leads through, from the time they see our content to when they land on our blog and start reading our content, to our call to action, to the front door of our funnel, which is our capture page. And then once that whole process is basically like a trip. And we need to look at it as that. We need to kind of caress them through this trip. And then basically we want to show them our products or our service, how it can ultimately, solve their problem, like I just spoke about. So if this all works out the way it should, you'll position yourself to answer any objections, and then show them how working with us can get them to their ultimate goal. And if you've done all of this properly from the very beginning, and you have a specific strategy in your approach, you'll find this is very, very easy, and that people will naturally come to you and tell you what their objections are, and you can show them how working with you personally can solve their objection and ultimately solve their problem. So, if you want to learn how you can partner with me and learn this stuff inside and out, and get immediate access to our mastermind group where we're constantly talking about this stuff and really breaking this stuff down, then click the link below, visit the next page, follow the directions on the next page, and we will take you by the hand and show you exactly what you need to do to earn a sustainable six-figure business. Now, in the next lesson, I'm going to be breaking down some of the business models and how you're going to be able to monetize all this, because obviously we're all here to make money, and if you're not making money, then you're probably not going to last very long. So be sure to stay tuned, look out for the next lesson, and until the next time, be great.